I went to the Ren Fair and I got a sword. But this is going to be a shorter video, mostly because I want to get back to playing Tears of the Kingdom. And I also want to just say that I got weaponry. You'll probably see in the background from videos from now on. Also, I got a dagger as well, but I don't feel like taking that out just yet. But anyways, I'm not here to gush about my weaponry or Legend of Zelda. It's mostly just fantasy in general. So this is going to be a shorter video because I want to get back to playing Tears of the Kingdom. But the Ren Fair and the Legend of Zelda have gotten into my head the thought process of why I like fantasy in general. And, you know, how fun it can be. Like, fantasy is a genre as a whole that can be anything. You can make anything out of it, and that's where the beauty in it lies. It's the infinite possibilities that fantasy brings you. It can be something as simple as a normal, everyday sort of drama mixed with magic, or it could be an epic adventure where you go and slay the Demon King to save the world. But then it can also just be a normal day sort of deal where you're just trying to find love in all the right places or all the wrong places. But at the end of the day, fantasy is one of the few genres that I keep going back to. It's one of the few genres that I never get tired of. I never feel like they've run out of ideas, though lately I will say that manga, light novels, manhwa, the creators of that, I just want to say, you can write other things that aren't isekai fantasy. You don't need to have your main character die and be brought into the world. No, you can just have them in the world without the weird convoluted explanation that they're now in it. So it is one of those few things that I just really like about fantasy, is the endless possibilities of fantasy. You have worlds that can be, Western or Eastern European. You can have worlds that are set within like feudal Japan. You can have worlds set within the warring kingdoms of China. Like, you can have so many different stories based off of real world events that the possibilities are endless. And you can also just make up shit. Like, there's so many things that I love about fantasy that it just feels great when you read a story that doesn't feel like anything you've read before. Like, the mangaka, the author, the creators of it just wanted to try something weird and crazy, and I love it. And you have all these unique powers as well, magics, monsters, creatures, and the like. It's one of the reasons why, even though I hate the company that publishes it, I love Dungeons and Dragons. It is great. It is awesome. The endless possibilities, the endless worlds you can have in there. And like I said, don't like the company, like the game. And you can have a world that is vast and crazy and really detailed, like Galarian for Pathfinder. You can have magic systems that are so unique and interesting. Like in any of Brandon Sanderson's bodies of work, you can have magic that is tied to reality itself, almost like the Wheel of Time with the one power. It's so many different and unique things, and you can have so many different and unique weapons in there. Like, sure, you can have weaponry like a sword, but there's also a few things that are interesting, because in the real world you can have guns were used alongside like swords and like bows and shit, because these were pretty good. And swords, don't run out of ammo, which is great. Anyways, and you can have that, like, you can add gunpowder to a fantasy setting and still have it feel realized. Granted, some people don't like their gunpowder in it, but if you do like your gunpowder in your fantasy, then check out the Powder Mage trilogy. Really great, really interesting, and really cool, unique powers, as well as sussing out the people to deal with. Still really good, really great. Another reason you could have weird powers that interact with the world differently, like Powder Mage trilogy, for an example. The Powder Mages snort gunpowder and gain like superpower, and they can float bullets using the gunpowder that is still on the ball of that they just shot out of their gun. You can have interesting powers, like in Brandon Sanderson's, where they ingest metal in the Mistborn series that then gives them different powers based off of the metal that they are ingesting. You can have a world in which you have weird eldritch abominations and demons coming alike, like in Berserk. And it is so many different things, so many different stories that can be told, so many different characters that can be fleshed out. You don't even need to have human characters. Like the Malazan books, you can have characters that are ridiculously old and feel the ever shifting weight of time that you do not understand, but they do. And Viren, I think is how you pronounce that, Journey's End, where you follow the elf that is, thousands of years old, that, fought with the heroes, and now 80 years later, most of her friends are dead, and she's trying to figure out what's her purpose in life after that. And so many different things, like the Legend of Driss series, where you follow a relatively young elf at the beginning and have him do all these different things, as well as grip with the fact his friends are not going to be living as long as him. You have so many different series options, so many different things that you can implement into your stories and read, and it's so good. Fantasy as a whole is for the infinite possibilities. You can also mix sci-fi in there. Sci-fi, I like sci-fi, but not as much as, that cold, hard magic that is fantasy. And I really love, it's so many cool things. I find swords to be cooler than guns. And I just find a lot of things to be cool and interesting in a whole. It's just, fantasy is just great. Also, sometimes fantasy isn't all that sunshine rainbows, but you can have a story that just is yeah, this is nice. This is relaxing. It's better than living in the world nowadays. I want that. I need that. Because life is difficult. Yep, this was just a mini little thing because I really want to go back to playing Legend of Zelda. Yeah, that's it. I'm planning on buying more weapons at some point. Yay! Anyways, that's it. If you like this video, think about hitting the like button. If you want to see more of this bearded face, think about hitting the subscribe button. Leave a comment down below what your favorite fantasy series is, or what you love about fantasy in general. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to go and play more of Legend of Zelda. So, bye.